All right, more on the breaking news now in Hong Kong. Thousands of protesters there are on the march.
Tensions rising in Hong Kong. Hundreds arrested after those violent protests.
Right in the heart of the business district of Asia's financial hub. And look at it, it's awash with riot police. There have been clashes with protesters as these protests don't just go on, but they've started to take a darker turn.
Violent images coming in from Hong Kong all day long, the world now watching. Protesters storming the airport again in Hong Kong, though this time police and SWAT teams engage.
If there is still any wishful thinking that by escalating violence, the Hong Kong SAR government will yield to pressure to satisfy the so-called political demands, I'm making this statement clear and loud here. That will not happen.
Despite Carrie Lam's strong posturing on the clashes between protesters and the Hong Kong police force, the protests continue to develop with no end in sight. There are even signs of further escalation. Latest developments of major clashes between Hong Kongers and the Hong Kong police force are happening at the city's major educational institutions. Campuses like Polytechnic University and the Chinese University of Hong Kong have been under siege from huge volumes of police equipped with riot gear, tear gas, and rubber bullets. The protesters have created a barracks within the school's campus as they prepare for further clashes with police. It seems as if the situation has turned to a point of no return. The protesters have created immigration checkpoints as you come onto campus, turning away anyone who might be a suspected undercover police officer. They are preparing meals for those who choose to hold down the territory as police try to regain control. They have built long-range projectiles and have been learning archery to keep police at a distance, deterring the effectiveness and chance of injury from rubber bullets, tear gas, or physical altercations. They ripped up bricks from public streets and built walls with mortar. They have littered the street with barricades, preventing police vehicles from accessing certain areas. It has become a revolution of their time. June 9th, 2019. Hundreds of thousands gather in the streets to display their frustration with an extradition bill that is being pushed by the current leadership of Hong Kong. So what is the extradition bill? The bill was proposed by the Hong Kong government in February 2019 to establish a mechanism for transfers of fugitives not only for Taiwan, but also for mainland China. This has left Hong Kongers fearful of the long arm of China and the fate of the one country, two systems policy.
Going to be a new special ceremony. Xi Jinping will pay his respects to the party flag, the national flag, and the military flag.
And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. How she behaves is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system.
The blindfolded detainees are from China's minority Uyghur Muslims. China has denied widespread reports of concentration camps.
The Hong Kong protests started as a defiance of the extradition bill. However, the movement has developed into something much more. This bill was the beginning of a political revolution. After the long-awaited withdrawal of the extradition bill,
The bill is dead.
the protests did not stop. Hong Kongers now felt the encroachment of the Chinese government on their city's agreed-upon autonomy and decided to fight back. The protesters created 5 demands that the government would need to come up with in order for protests to come to an end. Number 1. Completely withdraw extradition bill.
Have your hands been tied by Beijing in not allowing the bill to be withdrawn? Or is this a point of political pride on your part in not doing this and refusing to meet this demand of the protesters?
Well, actually, this
Yes
question...
or no?
Number 2. Retract all claims of protests being riots.
都係暫時停止營業，呢啲對香港廣泛嘅市民都帶嚟咗極大嘅影響。各位市民，暴徒嘅極端行為令香港昨晚度過咗非常黑暗嘅一夜，令今日嘅香港社會陷於半癱瘓，大家都好擔心、憂慮。
Hong Kong's police chief called the protest a riot, a declaration not even made during the Occupy Central demonstrations in 2014. The term carries severe consequences for anyone arrested, because a conviction for rioting could mean spending up to 10 years in prison.
Number 3. Withdraw criminal charges against all protesters. Number 4. Thoroughly investigate abuse of powers by the police. Number 5. Immediately implement dual universal suffrage. According to Wikipedia, universal suffrage is the concept of universal franchise, also known as general suffrage or common suffrage of the common man. This consists of the right to vote of all adult citizens regardless of wealth, income, gender, social status, race, or ethnicity. Democratic development in Hong Kong has been a major issue since the transfer of sovereignty from Britain to China in 1997, and now has become the driving force of these protests. In 2014, Hong Kong was forced to accept an electoral process for the chief executive in 2017, in which up to 3 candidates would be approved by the election committee, widely seen to be loyal to Beijing authorities, Carrie Lam being one of them.
As predicted, the winner was Carrie Lam, Hong Kong's former deputy leader and China's preferred choice.
Hong Kong, our home, is suffering from quite a serious divisiveness. My priority will be to heal the divide